we're back in the studio today. Today we are going to either paint a horse or a unicorn. I haven't decided yet. We're going to use a Bokeh Effect. And there's a couple little things that I want to talk to you about. What I've done here. I have put a sticker on here. It's a mailing label and they come very large. It's Avery 8165, and I'll have this down in the bottom part. These are shipping labels, like I said, and they have an adhesive. So if you're trying to block something out that you don't want the paint to be on, this is what you use, the Avery. And it really does help keep the paint away from this. There might be some leakage, but it's very rare that you have too much anyway. And our colors today will be, now I have my Stay Wet palette, and we're going to use Cad Yellow, Phthalo Blue, Dioxazine Purple, Titanium White. We have some glazing liquid, Burnt Sienna, Raw Sienna, and Black, which will be used later for our horse. So if you would like to get started, get your paints ready. The brushes, I'll post all this information on the bottom, and where you can get all these products. I don't get paid for that, but I just want you to have the right products that I'm using. I mean, you can use a wide variety of products, so whatever can fit your budget is what you use. And okay, so I'm going to move on here and get my palette ready with the colors, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, so here we are back here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with let's see. We're going to start out with a bright, don't know the size on this, unfortunately, it's rubbed off, but I would say a 6 or above would be best to use. You can see this, hopefully. We're going to start out with our Cad Yellow medium with a little white. I'm going to mix some white in with it. I want it to be very bright around the horse. So I'm just going to make little crisscross strokes here. And I'm going in a circular motion, and as you can see, I'm getting my strokes actually on this paper that I put down, and that's fine. So I've got enough of that. I'm going to rinse out my brush, get the yellow out of there, and then the next color I want to start with is the Phthalo Blue. So that is going to go around here. Make little circular motions. Get some texture going in there. And the yellow can get up in there. It kind of makes it a little green. That's fine. And don't forget, I always like to get my sides. Make sure you get your sides in here. Still going in a circular motion. And I'm going to pick up a little Dioxazine Purple. I want some of that purpley color in here. Kind of just like maybe a little bit of glazing liquid, because I'd like to have these kind of mute together. Okay. Make sure you get all your canvas covered. I'm using this brush because it has a better adherence. It gets into all the grooves, and that's what we want. There's more of the Dioxazine Purple. And I might even add a little white to some of this just have a little bit of texture and change. And especially in here, I'm going to try to get that to loop together. There we go. A little bit more white, and I'm going to add some glazing liquid to that. Glazing liquid, blue, get more purple in here. Let me get that purple, and I'm going to probably add some white around that area also where the yellow is, only because I want to get some of that lighter. I want to get some lightness in through here. A little more glazing liquid here. Brush. Circular motions. Continue with this. Some white. And you don't want it too light because for a bokeh effect, we need to have it darker, I would think, would be better for what I want to do. Some blue. Glazing liquid. Let's go over some of this. Glazing liquid and blue. Add a little purple in through here also. The dioxazine purple with some more glazing liquid. Okay. Getting through some of that. Your arm will get tired doing this. Because we're working in circular motions, and if you're not used to that, you will get tired out a little bit from it. Hopefully you can see everything that I'm doing. I want to be standing in front of it. That wouldn't be very good if you just see my body and nothing else. Okay. I will get my sides here in a minute. Rinse out my brush. Get most of that blue out of there and purple. So I'm cleaning out that. And I'm going into my yellow and white with some glazing liquid. And I want to get up and through here a little bit. Bring it, extend it out some. Rinse out my brush, because you want to keep that nice and clean. More glazing liquid. Now what I'm going to do before this dries, I am going to get a softer brush and kind of like blend this a little bit with a soft, clean, dry brush. Blend it in. And that should be pretty easy to do because we have that glazing liquid on there. And that's okay if it gets into my yellow like this. It kind of gives it just that, what we're looking for. This is like a 1-inch brush, but it's very soft and it helps to do what I'm wanting to do with it. Just getting it in there. And then I'm going to kind of blend in this also. so you don't see any other lines in here. It's nice and soft, and that's what we're looking for, nice and soft. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do my sides, and I'll be back in a minute. Alright, now we're back. I got my everything together. Well, I didn't do the sides yet, and I apologize for that, but I will do those at the end. What I wanted to do was get the next step ready. We're going to, the Bukit Effect, or Bokeh, is something photographers do. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but they kind of like fade the backward. The back is kind of a blurry back, and then there's some of these little round circles that are in there that are also a little bit blurry. But now I've got these little stampers, or daubers. These were Martha Stewart daubers, and they're pretty reasonable, like at the craft stores. And I have 4 different sizes here. I have a larger one, I have a slightly smaller, a smaller one, and a very small one. And I'm going to use each one of these. Now what I do is I dip it in the paint, and I think we'll start out with some purple, dioxazine purple. And I twist it around. Let me show you this. So what I'm doing is I'm twisting it around. I'm going to grab some of my glazing liquid. Probably going to need some more of that. And my dauber is totally filled up. And then I'm just going to stamp around here like this. Just here and there. And get into some of the blue. Now I'm going to go in with my next size, and I think I'll pick up some of my Phthalo Blue. Same method, twisting, going into my glazing liquid, and putting some on top of this. You kind of want to, you know, make some different designs here. Put them close together, connect them. It makes it look a little bit more believable. Making them different sizes. And one of the key things about these also is you want to rinse these out as quickly as possible. Don't let the paint dry in there. So probably once I do this, I will be going and doing that exactly. Okay, now I'm going to go to the next size, and I may put some yellow on this one. A little bit of yellow into the glazing liquid, and I have the yellow on there, if you can see it, hopefully see it. Go into these areas here, these little ones, bubbles. Even go out a little bit, it's alright, kind of like put them on top of one another. That's what really looks nice, when you put it on top of another one. Get some more of the blue in here. Still have some blue on my dauber here, and even some purple. Just kind of get more in here. They really look nice when they become more faint. And there you have it. It's very simple. Nothing very difficult. Just kind of looks like little bubbles flying around. I actually should put some of the little ones in also. Let me see. I'll get some of the phthalo blue and maybe some purple mixed in there. The glazing liquid, maybe a little bit of white would be nice. Kind of just get little ones in here and there. And I twist it in order to get those in there. These are very small ones. And they look very nice in here also. So that's the Bokeh Effect. Now, I'm going to go rinse these out and I will be right back. We have taken off our stencil that was on here. And what I've done is I've traced out some of the lines that we're going to be using for the next part, this part that's coming up. And what we're going to work on now, and I will have this outline for you in the link below where you can find the actual horse. So it'll help you if you don't want to draw it by hand. Sometimes it's just easier to use a stencil. Now the first thing we're going to do is paint the eyes, and what we want to do with that is we're going to use some Mars Black to paint the upper part, and then we're going to paint this lower part right here with some Raw Sienna, I believe it is. So let's get that. And then we're going to do the nose also. Now I am using a number 4 Filbert, only because I can get in there better with this. It's a little easier for me. So instead of using a larger brush, and you might have to use a little bit of the glazing liquid if it's too thick, just so it'll spread easy for you. And the stencil also has a little area where it's open, and we're going to put like a little white highlight in there. So we're going to just do this part here. We're going to go to the nose and do that part also, because this is also dark. His nostril. Hopefully you can see this. I'm just doing this with this little filbert that I have and grabbing some of my glazing liquid. It's always good to have that on hand. It really helps to move the paint around on your canvas. Some things are just really hard if you don't have it. You might as well make it easy for yourself. It's always a good thing to make it easy on you. Okay, so I'm going to rinse that out now and dry it on my paper towel. And right in here then I am going to use some Raw Sienna to do that part of his eye. Right in here. Once this gets in, you almost can see how beautiful it will be. I mean, his eye is just so pretty. Eyes are very important when you're painting. Now what we're going to do, we're going to mix up some Phthalo Blue and Mars Black. So we are going to use 4 parts of Phthalo Blue and 2 parts of the Mars Black. I have Mars Black. If you don't have Mars Black, whatever black you have. And although sometimes you can mix it up with your bright, this is the number 6 bright that I have. If you would use a palette knife, it makes life a little easier. So, Phthalo Blue, we're going to be using more of that, and just 2 parts of black. Mix that up. We're going to be using that quite a bit. We want to paint the ears with that, and I'm just going to take that off my palette knife because I just do not want to waste it. So let's just do that. Paint is expensive enough, you don't need to waste it. Okay, so we're just going to do this part right here with that. As you can see, I'm just using my number 6 bright. We're going to do alongside here also. It's going to come over like here, come down a bit like that, and then we're going to put that in there. I'm going to grab a little bit more, some glazing liquid also, to make it flow a little easier for me. I'm going to come over here with that mixture. Add some more. It's kind of dry, I guess, today in my studio. I have that problem a lot in here for some reason. My paint dries. And you don't want to have any of that not, you know, coming through on your canvas here. You want to make sure it's a solid, good solid line. So I just keep picking up some of the glazing liquid. And perhaps around his nose here, I'm just going to use my small Filbert because I want to get this right around here like this. Comes around and up like that. And his mouth also gets outlined right here. He's a beautiful little horse. Well, we can make this into a, also into a unicorn. So I'm still deciding what we're going to do with this as far as that goes. So we're going to come over there. Okay, so we're going to also put some of this around here. Kind of like the lines that are coming off of here with this brush better. And we're going to come around the eye here. Okay. Did want to make this sort of a little thicker right in here. Okay. Let's see if I missed anything. Looks like we're outlined on the side also here. So we could go to our larger bright. And I'm pulling in some of that glazing liquid into my blue mixture just so I can have a nice straight line, hopefully, and one that isn't dried out like it's doing here. Let's see. Seems to pattern I did here goes around the edge here. Let's see here. This here is all quite blue in here, a bluish black shade. So I'm going to paint that in. And let me see, where else do I need some? Okay, looking at my photo from before my painting. I just use that as my guide again. And we're going to put some right in here. Right here. Okay. Alright, so that's for that part. Alright, so the next step, we're going to go to the next step now, and oh, I have to color that in. I missed that spot. Okay. I paint that in also right here around his ear. Like I said, the stencil I give you will have all these lines on it, and you will be fine. And apparently we've got to get, okay, because this is going to go out. This ear is going to go out. It's going to extend out. Let's get some around his mane here, right in through here. Just outline his whole mane. Okay, let's see if we can get some of that to move around a little bit better. This hairbrush that I'm using is kind of quite used, but it works for some things, you know. It's a number 2 flat, and I really like that one. Okay, let me take a little drink. My throat is getting dry, and I always have something handy. And now I want to dry that. I'm going to dry this, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I've got it dry now. And I've got it dry now, like I said. And what I'm going to do now, I mixed a new batch, and I want to kind of like gray in some areas so that it gives it some depth and some substance for the horse. And what I did is I mixed that mixture that we just made, that was the, oh, wait a minute, sorry, hold on, sorry. All right, so let's get started. And we're going to put in the gray. We're going to be doing some dry brushing. Dry brushing is a technique that there's not a lot of paint on the brush, but it actually does paint it, but it's kind of like dry. So we're going to be doing some of that, and we're still using our number 6 bright. So let's see here now. I want to put some of this that goes down this way. See, there's not a lot of paint on the brush, and it just kind of is a dry brush that we're doing. We just want to go over some of the areas that we've already done. And then there's going to be like a spot here, space. Just kind of like go over some of that blue. Kind of like glaze it. We're going to glaze the blue. What we're going to do is taper off to about right there. Keep some of that goes up. That's some of his mane also. So we want to have some that comes up there. Okay. Now around the ear, we want to get some around the ear, and it's going to kind of go like this. We just want to glaze it around the ear. Over. Just kind of go over some of that part. We're going to go inside the ear a little bit, like that. And we're going to also bring some of this down in here, like that. Now, he has quite a bit coming around here. Going to actually be in here. It's like a rounded part of him. You want to kind of make some of these strokes rounded also, because that helps to give it a little bit of form on his face part here. Gives it something to look at. We're going to come down to here. Let me see. We're going to come over and down, and we're also going to go around this area here. I'm going to go around his eye, this here. Actually, and there's a couple little spots right there that I have done, and this is also some of it. cover up some of those lines that we have there. Down in here, there's going to be some shading. Okay, so I've filled in all the color. Unfortunately, my scan card was full, so you didn't get to see me paint that part, but you can see it here, some of the shading that I've done. So you can do this, and we're going to mix our next color, and we will be right back. Okay, so we're still using our number 6 bright. What I've done is I've mixed some titanium white, a large amount of titanium, I would say about 8 parts, and a little bit of Mars Black, about 2 parts, and 4 parts of Raw Sienna in order to make like a really interesting brown. And what I want to do here, I want to get that a little darker, so I'm going back to that first mix that we made right here, and I'm going to put some dark in here. Something a little bit darker. Okay. Now, I'm going to start putting in that mixture, that brown mixture, Raw Sienna mixture, and I'm going to add some interesting highlights here. We're going almost over some of that gray, so it's kind of like glazing. So if you want to use some of your glazing liquid, that would be appropriate for this, because we just want to go over it very lightly, very lightly. Okay, and it's going to come through here. We want some of that gray to show through. You can come down through here, go over some of that blue, bring some of that blue up into it. And maybe in through here also, we want that nice brown. But like we're doing a glaze, so you definitely need your glazing liquid to go over this, because we want some of that gray that we put in there to come through. I mean, there's some areas that we are going to have just pure pigment here, and that would be through this area of white. Don't forget the sides. I'm a real stickler for that, because if you don't frame it, you don't want your sides to be all showing white, so make sure they get done also. Okay, let's see. Put some in here. Go over some of that color also that we have. Okay, in here also. Kind of like almost dry brushing it also, which is kind of like going, let's see if we can get this up here a little bit better. And this here, there we go. And, oh, definitely in his ear, we're going to get some of that. Out here a little bit more, some of this. Here. In here. And around his area here, let's see. Get some of this here. Some of that other shade showing through. Definitely. I'm going to add a little white, still want a little white in some of this area here, just to give it a little bit more. I'm going to put out some more titanium white and kind of get this a little lighter. I want some lightness through here. We want that lightness to show through. Okay. Going back into my brown mixture. Some of this in here. There's a good bit in here. I think I put quite a bit in here. Going up into this. Here, space, some that comes down in through here, above his eye here. We want some here. Through here. Look how nice he's starting to shape up. It's amazing that these things can happen, you know. It's just kind of interesting how they all start to come together. Have to be colored in here. Little pieces, little areas. You have this one also in here. Actually might add a little bit of blue up into that also. Okay, looks like I have a little bit of that previous mixture in here. I want to like kind of have to get some of my glazing liquid for this just to come out this way. And some that's coming out, of course, up here. And with my small brush that I had before, my flat, I'm going to put in some bluish yellow in there. Sorry, I'm using my voice. Maybe a little purple here. Just right in through here if we can. Separate that. Now some of that is our Bokeh Effect, so we want to keep that in there, and this will probably help to get that piece that looks like that. Okay. All right, now our next step, we are going to use the bright, and we're going to mix that titanium white, probably about 12 parts, so it's going to be a pretty nice mixture. 4 parts of the Raw Sienna and a small amount of the Mars Black. But what I'm going to do with what I had this mixture before, I'm just going to add some white to that because it had all those in there. So we're just going to add some titanium white to that previous mixture with the Raw Sienna and Mars Black. Just add white to it. Use your palette knife to mix it. So it's going to be much lighter than the one that we just used. Much lighter. And I think we have it there. I'm going to put some more white in because I want it pretty light. Okay. So it comes out to be about that light. It's going to be much lighter than what we just put on. So we are going to go over some of these areas once more. I'm going to come into here. It's almost like a white shade. Still dry brushing. Still doing the dry brush. I'm taking this off my palette knife because I don't want to waste it. Okay, let me step back a minute. Okay, so we're going to start to put on some of the lighter shade here. I'm going to use my number 6 Bright and going into my lighter shade, and I'm just putting it in these areas here. Now I've been asked to do a unicorn. So we will be doing a unicorn today. We're going to finish this off as a unicorn. So that should be an interesting little piece. Dry brushing this into that area that's dark. You want some of that dark to show through. Also want his muscles to show. Horses have these fabulous muscles that, just like humans when they work out, some of these horses that work out a lot, like especially the race horses, if you ever notice those. But we're making a unicorn, and our unicorn's going to be nicely, going to have a nice body on it too. Okay, we're just going to continue to work in this lighter shade, being very careful not to put too much into our shades that we have already put on here. We want to keep those nice to show through. Very, very much we'd like to have those. I'm sorry, they should show through pretty good, really. That's why we're kind of dry brushing over a lot of this. Dry brushing, once again, there's not much paint on the brush. Now I'm going to be adding some hair up into the top parts as well, because we want that to be the main, and because this is a unicorn, the unicorn does have more hair. So we're going to be adding some of those nice pieces of hair that come off, kind of curl up like this. And look at how light this is. When I put it over here, it shows much darker. But here you can see it's quite light against the dark. Interesting. It's interesting how your colors can change against a background, a certain background. I'm going to grab a little bit of my glazing liquid, because I do want, well, I'm probably going to use some different strokes also, getting a different type of brush. Keep in mind that as you go over some of these other areas, you're just going to lightly brush over it because you want those shades to show through. Just lightening it up some. Keeping those lines in there, you want to keep those in there so that that gives it some dimension. And then if you go over some of those lines and you lose some of that dimension, you can always put that blue back in there. That's fine too. I'm going to add a little bit more of this darker blue right in here. I want that to be a little different. Back into my light shade again, just kind of like blending these two together, blending them together. Checking out what I've done here. Back and forth. I'm not cleaning my brush. I don't want to clean it. I just want to try to blend these a little bit better. Let's see here. Okay, so this is definitely darker right in through here. We want that to be a little darker, so. And it looks like I'm losing some of my black on his nose, so I'm going to go into my black, fill that back in. Go. And we rinse out the brush, getting most of the excess water out of there. And this comes down like this. I want this to come down. And under here. That then comes up alongside of there. And mouth comes out this way. This will be the hardest part, getting these in the way you want them, because like I said, it has to show some kind of definition. This horse has to have some features. Just like people have to have some features, this horse has to have some also. All right. A little bit of my dark blue, and I'm going to go through here a little bit better. Just blend it in. Get more of my light. Darken through here also. Just kind of blending it in. It's like a glaze. You'll put many layers on any of your paintings, especially if you do portraits. You're going to be using quite a bit of glazing, going over these things all the time. It's just the way it is, in order to show definition. I know when I was doing Portrait of My Husband, I must have done that 10,000 times in order to get it the way I wanted it. So it does take time to do all this. Get some more of my light. I'm going back and forth with light and dark. And you'll do this too. I mean, you'll see that you'll need to do this. It's just part of the process. Part of the process. Okay, let's see here now. Some of this to be lighter. Now, I would like to have like okay, I would like to have a little bit more definition in through the mane here, so I'm going to look at that, and I want to get this line out of here too, so I'm going to work with that a little bit more, and I'm going to just be adding some white and maybe some of my glazing. Well, it's not white, it's the beige, but my glazing liquid, just to get some of that out of there. I mean, I like the way it looks. It looks good so far, but I don't like to see those lines. Of course, we're getting some more of that. So, what I'm going to use is some of this very pale gray-brown color. Well, it's blue actually. Put some blue in through here. To give it some highlights, and get some more of this going in here, some lighter shade going in. We're going to be putting in the unicorn's horn in a sec. And I want to get some more of those little hairs in there. So I am going to get like a liner brush for this part. I want to get more of a nice smooth kind of layer. I wet my brush for that. And I'm going into my light shade and I'm getting it sort of like a nice consistency. Now I have a number 2 round brush, and I'm just going to start putting some hairs in here, like this. You have to get some down that come down through here also, just a few. I want just a few that come down in here, and you're going to make them squiggly. Now, when I do my hairs on anybody, I'm holding my brush back far. I'm not holding it close because I want this to be free and very easily done. As long as I have enough water in my paint that it's not runny, I can put these little hairs in, and we want to get those into his mane. And just kind of like bring them up and bring them curly. It's like drawing twigs on a tree. You're just going to be doing the same kind of thing. Making sure you have nice lines here. We're going to add some dark to it also. His mane has to get longer. So we're going to get that up in there. Put some of that in through there. And you'd be surprised how far your paint can go. It goes pretty far. I mean, it's you need a little bit more water in here. You can also use glazing liquid to help you out with that, just to keep your your brush nice and wet. These little squiggly things down in here, because manes on horses, unless they're braided, I think they go kind of wild-like, you know. They're not do want a little thicker though, and through some of here, this area we'll get that. And I'll add a little bit of some of that nice deeper blue as well. Have some dimension in through some of this area. Different color hair. Looking kind of wild and crazy. Want to have some of this coming up this way. Some that comes down out here. I'm going to get my number 6 bright. And I'm going to work some of this down through here. We're going to add more hair to this also. I want to work this down, kind of giving it that shadowy effect. Technique here. Glaze. I'm going to go over it with some of the lighter shade. That looks really sharp. Okay. I'm going to rinse out my liner brush here, my number 2. Pick up some more of the lighter shades here. Pull them up through there. Kind of make little S's, little S curls. That's kind of neat. Kind of giving it a little fantasy look here. You still want some of your bokeh effect behind there to shine through also. Don't want to let that go. Now his horn will be coming out about right here, so I'd like to step back a minute and see how this is going here. I want to get some of these other hairs in before I do that. Now you can have some of these hairs coming around his ears also. Sometimes they just kind of fall. I'm going to grab a little bit of my blue just so you can see some of those hairs. Get some more of my light. This will probably be the hardest part right here, taking all the time to put those little hairs in. But in the long run, it'll make it a beautiful picture for painting. Something you could give as a birthday present, or, you know, kids love things like this to put on their walls. Make some points with your nieces and nephews, boy. This is a good way to do it. Grandkids will love it. They will love it. I know my grandkids will. It's a great birthday present. Oops, I got a little bit of more. Well, that kind of is nice too, because why not? Why not have a little extra color in there? Definitely want to have right in here, very kind of dark. So I'm just going to tap this in here with this brush, and then I'm going to smooth it a little bit with my other brush here, my flat, number 6 flat. So right now I'm going in with all these different shades, kind of like making some texture through here. Get some texture in there. Get this texture coming out. Loud and crazy. Now some of these hairs need to be a little longer, so I am going to make some a little longer. Let me step back a minute. I'd love to hear your comments. What do you think so far? Love to hear those comments, likes, dislikes. Please don't dislike me. I'd like to hear some comments. Always a good comment is helpful. And if you really like what I'm doing, if you like these free lessons, help me continue to do this by supporting me through Patreon or GoFundMe. I would really be happy if you could do that. I know it's tough these days to make donations to people you don't really know, but if you really like what I'm doing and you want to keep me here, would be one good way. I just got a camera thanks to some really generous people. I'm still getting acquainted with it. As you can see, I'm not very good at filming, but I'm trying. Trying my best. Okay, so you want to have some wild and crazy hair going on here. Okay. All right, so now we're going to take our time here. We're going to put in some, I want to make this nice and smooth in here. You still want to have that little bit that comes in, but you don't want to have brush strokes showing either. So you want to kind of like smooth that out as best that you can. You can pick up some of your glazing liquid. That kind of helps you to smooth. See how nice that'll get that effect out of there, that brush strokes. And put some more of that in here, just tapping it in and pushing it out, pushing it down, just kind of like getting a little shading in there. And a little bit in here, we want some in here, lighter but still. Let me put some more hairs in here to get some nice little hairs in around his ear. Also some through here too, just a few. Just a few little ones here, little squigglies here and there. Maybe some dark ones. Always make sure that your brush is wet enough so that you don't get anything dry. Don't want any dry brushes. And I'm going to rinse that one out. Pick up some of my light again, because I need to put some more in through here, because they kind of like got lost here with the dark. Okay, nice. Just like our hair, it's not going to all go the same way. So you kind of want to, oops, too much paint on there. Always roll your brush. Make it look like it's coming out of somewhere. Okay. Alright, so now I think what I want to do is have this horn, it sort of comes out usually above the eye, maybe right about here. We can have it come down this way. So I'm going to sketch that in with a round brush. I have a number 4 round. It's a Simply Simmons. See if I can sketch that in with a little light color. Maybe, let's see, maybe about right here. Right here. Now the horn is not all that wide, and this is up to you. So this won't, I don't think I'm going to include this in my sketch. It's just going to be a horse's head. That depends on you, if you would like to have this in there. So I'm just going to add light shade here. I'm going to cup. It's coming out of here. So what I'm going to do is have hair coming over it. So his name. I'm going to get my number 6 flat. And I think what I want to do is just outline it a little bit in my very dark blue shade that I had before, just kind of like getting it in there so you can see it. And I'm gonna dry this with a hair dryer, because now I'm going to be actually putting some highlights into this. So I will be back in a second. I'm going to dry this and we will finish up our unicorn. Sorry about walking into the camera. Okay, So I've got it dry. I'm going to add a few more. I want to get some more like lengthy hairs in through here. Let this dry a little bit more. So I'm going to go back to my round brush. Get a little bit of lengthy hairs that come down like this. Okay. Maybe add a few of the greenish ones also, just so that you know it's there. You just want to be able to see them. Okay. A few more lengthy ones. Okay. Also, I want to go in here with my light while I have my brush here. Do his little eye there. Make his little highlight in here also. Now what I'm going to do also is get my smaller brush and add some more of that burnt sienna right in here. I just want that to be narrow. Little finishing touches that I noticed. More black up in here so that this really stands out. I want this to stand out. Hopefully you can hear me. Sometimes I get so engrossed that I'm not clear. This right in here, I want this to be a little bit better here. This is his nose. Adding a little bit of my darker blue. Kind of just coming around like that. And actually, it should be a little different than that, I think. Just a little bit. This comes in. I don't like pushing it up towards the nose. I want to make it look like a nostril. And maybe putting some of this down in through here also. A lot of little details, just little details that help this to become more realistic. Okay. And I'm just using that round brush. Okay. And I really would like to see this a little bit better also here. Right in there. And I'm going to get my flat number 6 bright. Oops, get that in there. Get this a little bit brighter. As it dries, you can see things that really need to stand out a little bit more. Let's see here now. Just come over. Alright, so let's go on to our unicorn horn. What we're going to do is just kind of like make little strokes that go rounded strokes. We're going to make that a little darker inside. What I want to do is with my little Filbert, making sure it's very dry. Now I'm going to use some darker blue, this shade here that we used, and I'm going to make little S's in here. In like that. Now I'm going to highlight all this. Now you want to try to get them as close as possible. Actually, I'm not sure that I like that. Let me just get that out of there. I think they should be further apart. So even the artist can make a change in what they're doing to make it different. Okay. So what we'll do instead is we're going to go in with the light. And we are going to go, let me see here, I'm looking at something. It should just kind of like go like this. Okay, and then on the side of each of those, we're going to add some dark. So it kind of pops it out some. Well, my dark isn't coming through, so let me wash it. Still number 2. I'm using a number 2 round. You just want to go right alongside of this. Okay, and we're going to add a little bit of light in there yet. Got to get some light in there. So I'm going back into my lighter shade. Kind of just coming around here. Actually, I like the blue. I think I like the blue better, didn't you? Yeah, I think so. I think that shows up so much nicer. Let me add that blue back in there. Can add some of that in there. Okay, I'm going to rinse this out because I want to get some of my hair in on top of it. Okay, so I still have my number 2. And I'm going to just kind of like bring some hair like that over it. And we are almost finished with this painting. So happy you could join me today, and send me some notes, send me something that you'd like to see me paint. Like, subscribe, so many things to do for you. But I would like to see you subscribe and to like what I do. Maybe share it even. You can also write me via email if you would like. I'm here always. You can ask me questions, what paints I use. I use so many different ones. I always put them in the bottom there below. Still putting in a few more pieces of hair. And that will be it. Your beautiful unicorn. Hopefully you will enjoy this, and send me pictures of what you've done. I'd love to see what you have done also. If you could do that, I would really appreciate it. And until next time, we'll see you. Bye.